أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. I welcome you all in the online session of electronic circuit devices. Hope you all are fine and having good health. Today we start chapter number 16, that is oscillators. And the literal meaning and definition of oscillator is: an oscillator is a circuit that produces a periodic waveform on its output with only the DC supply voltage as an input. The repetitive input signal is not required except to synchronize oscillations. In some applications, the output voltage can be either sinusoidal or non-sinusoidal, depending on the type of oscillator, that which kind of oscillator you select for the particular purpose. Two major classifications of oscillators are feedback oscillators and relaxation oscillators. Now moving towards the next aspect of oscillators, that are essentially an oscillator convert electrical energy from the DC power supply to periodic waveform sinusoidal in AC nature. A basic oscillator as shown in figure 16-1, that oscillator is an input and output signals that working by taking the DC supply voltage and generating the output in these forms, that either these are the sinusoidal sine waves, square waves, and sawtooth wave. So the feedback oscillator, one type of oscillator is the feedback oscillator, which returns a fraction of the fraction of the output signal to the input with no net phase shift, resulting in a reinforcement of output signal after oscillators are started. The loop gain is maintained at 1.0 to maintain the oscillations. A feedback oscillator consists of an amplifier for gain, either a discrete transistor or an op amp, and a feedback and a positive feedback circuit that produces phase shift and provide attenuation as shown in below mentioned 16-2 figure, uh, in which we can see that the amplifier is connected with the feedback circuit attenuation plus phase shift features, in which we take a feedback from output side and provide to the amplifier, and this way we can control the output as an oscillator, particularly providing supply of VCC as a source to the amplifier and output would be generated. This is the basic principle on which oscillator work. Then we also discuss the relaxation oscillator. A second type of oscillator is the relaxation oscillator. Instead of feedback, a relaxation oscillator uses an RC timing circuit to generate a waveform that is generally a square wave or other non-sinusoidal waveform. Typically, a relaxation oscillator uses a Schmitt trigger or other device that changes states of alternatively charge and discharge capacitor through a resistor. That same phenomena also work in the internal structure of 555 timer IC. Relaxation oscillator are discussed in this section. Before discussing more about relaxation oscillator, we have to start 16-2 feedback oscillator phenomena, on which the feedback oscillator operation is based on the principle of positive feedback. In this section, we will examine this concept and look at the general conditions required for oscillations to occur. Feedback oscillators are widely used to generate sinusoidal waveforms. Now, moving towards the positive feedback that tells us that the positive feedback is characterized by condition where in a portion of the output voltage of an amplifier is feedback. You can see in these figures A and B, which are also explained in this paragraph, back to the input with no net phase shift. Means the input and output are in same phase. There is no phase shift in before feedback and after feedback, and before input of the op-amp non-inverting amplifier, and after non-inverting amplifier there is no phase shift. Means that they are in phase in both the figure, but in part A of the category. As you can see in the in phase feedback voltage, Vf is amplified to produce the output voltage, which in turn produces the feedback voltage. That is, a loop is created in which the signal sustains itself. In these figure you can see the non-inverting amplifier is used, the signal providing at the side in the non-inverting amplifier, and the output would be amplified with in-phase configuration. The output get the status from this side provide to the feedback circuit loop, and particularly it balance or maintain the output as per the need and requirement of the user to again control the particular need of gain and voltage at the site. So the simple phenomena is fulfilled by in this figure, and the non-inverting amplifier choose to fulfillment this task to in phase the input and output configuration of the signals. Now, if we discuss about the inverting amplifier, in this figure you can see that if the input providing is out of phase as compared to the this input, the output would be performed out of phase, that start from 0 degree, but the input signal was 180 degree out of phase. So when the output is produced at 0 degree and get the status of the feedback from this side, again feedback loop again convert this as input 180 degree out of phase, and again input to inverting amplifier to amplify the signal, but out of 180 degree out of phase. That's the main phenomena of non-inverting amplifier and inverting amplifier in these concepts of positive feedback and negative feedback. Now moving towards this configuration, a continuous sinusoidal output is produced. This phenomena is called oscillation. In some types of amplifiers, the feedback circuit shifts the phase 180 degree out of phase, and an inverting amplifier is required to provide another 180 degree phase shift so that there is no phase shift. This is illustrated in the below mentioned part B figure, which I already discussed with you guys. Conditions for oscillation. So we have to understand this phenomenon as well. There are two conditions which illustrated in below mentioned figure, that the phase shift around the feedback loop must be effectively 0 degree. In this figure you can see the phase shift around the feedback loop must be effectively 0 degree, which means the starting phase of the input signal and producing output at this level both are in phase. They are not out of phase with each other. They are on 0 degree phase shift, or we can say they are in phase. Now number two category, the voltage gain closed loop gain would be formed around the closed loop feedback loop. That loop gain must equal 1 unity. In this configuration, you can see, as per this comparison, this is another view of this concept, that the feedback circuit of loop represented by a block, that is B, the closed loop gain is 1, and providing supply this side to this one, and the multiplied level of voltage gain and attenuation multiplied with each other to form a unity feedback, that we called a closed loop unity feedback configuration of circuit. Now moving towards another configuration, the voltage gain around the feedback loop, closed loop voltage gain is a product of amplifier gain AV and attenuation factor that we already discussed in previous sessions as well, that is represented B of the feedback circuit. Means that the product of voltage gain and attenuation factor multiplied each other, we got the closed loop voltage gain. If the sinusoidal waveform is the desired output, a loop gain greater than 1 will rapidly cause the output to saturate at both peaks of waveform, producing unacceptable distortion. To avoid this, some form of gain control must be used to keep the loop gain exactly 1. If the gain and attenuation both having equal entities, to get the unity feedback by this phenomena. Now moving towards another aspect of oscillation, that understood by this figure, that the DC voltage of common collector provide from this side, the biasing voltage DC provide at this op-amp, inverting, non-inverting, either the amplifier is select for that purpose, and then we get the feedback loop from this side through providing this way, and the output voltage would be performed in this sinusoidal configuration in continuous form. If you understand at this level, you can see that the closed loop voltage gain is greater than to 1, and after some stable time, it would be the closed loop voltage gain equal to the magnitude would be 1. When oscillation start at T naught, this is the instant when the oscillation starting condition or starting point, that is AC L, means the closed loop voltage gain greater than less than to 1, causes the sinusoidal output voltage amplitude to build up to a desired level. Then closed loop voltage gain decreases to 1 and maintains the desired output. The voltage is amplified and continually reinforced, resulting in a buildup of the output voltage as previously discussed. Now moving towards another section of chapter 16, that is chapter 16-3, oscillators with RC feedback circuit. It's a self-explanatory topic. The feedback which is made by the resistor and capacitor circuit is we called RC feedback circuit, by which the oscillatory signal would be formed. Three types of feedback oscillators that use RC circuits to produce sinusoidal outputs are the Wien bridge oscillator, another name of RC oscillator, the phase shift oscillator, and the twin T oscillator. Generally, RC feedback oscillators are used for frequencies up to about 1 megahertz. The Wien bridge is by far the most widely used type of RC feedback oscillator for this range of frequencies. Now are discussing about the Wien bridge oscillator. One type of sinusoidal feedback oscillator is the Wien bridge oscillator. A fundamental part of the Wien bridge oscillator is lead lag circuit, like that shown in the below mentioned figure, particularly the set of RC we configure in this phenomena that series and parallel. R1 and C1 together form the lag portion of the circuit. R2 and C2 form the lead portion. So the lagging and leading would be controlled by this phenomena. The operation of this lead lag circuit as follows. At lower frequencies, the lead circuit dominates due to the high reactance of C1 of C2 sorry. As the frequency increases, the XC2 decreases, thus allowing the output voltage to increase. At some specified frequency, the response of the lag circuit takes over and decreases. The value of XC1 causes the output voltage to decrease. So, to understand this concept, we have to understand both the figures, that the circuit schematic diagram and graphical aspect of this concept. Means that this one is the lagging part of the oscillator, and this one we called a leading part of the oscillator. In starting frequencies, there is a lower frequency at this side between the RF is the resonance frequency at which the capacitive effect and the maximum peak value of the output voltage would be performed at this instant. The capacitive reactance gradually increase and would be constant at this level, and from FR the capacitive reactance would be decreased from this point. So this phenomena is continuously formed because of charging and discharging phenomena of the capacitor respectively C1 and C2. The output voltage would be performed at the amplitude of 1 upon 3 times of the V in. This is the main aspect in which this configuration would be formed, and also we called a Wien bridge oscillator, in which the RC circuit configuration make the oscillatory circuit. Up till now, any one of you, if have any kind of question or query, please feel free to ask. I will answer your query and uh, resolve your query and answer your question. If you have any kind of question up till now, please feel free to ask. I will answer your question. Otherwise, I continue the session. The response curve for the lead lag circuit as shown in above mentioned figure, this one, indicate that the output voltage peaks at frequency called resonant frequency FR. Resonance frequency is the point at which it is an in between point on the lower content of frequency and higher content of frequency, and also we can say this is the lower increasing value of capacitive reactance, and after that the decreasing value of capacitive reactance, and in between these two concepts the resonance frequency is available in the form of FR. At this point, the attenuation would get the formula V out upon V in of the circuit is 1 upon 3 times of the R1 equal to R2 and XC1 equal to XC2. This is the instant where we got the resonance frequency and resonance frequency point. At stated by the following equation, drive in deviations of selected equation. So after this scenario, we got the formula V out over V in equal to 1 upon 3 times at the maximum output peak value of voltage. Now we get the resonance frequency of formula Fr equal to 1 upon 2 pi Rc. The value of R and C placed at this level multiplied with 2 pi value, reciprocal of these things, we got the resonance frequency. To summarize, the lead lag circuit in the Wien bridge oscillator has a resonant frequency Fr at which the phase shift through the circuit is 0 degree, and the attenuation is 1 upon 3 times below Fr. The lead circuit dominates and the output leads the input. Above resonance frequency, the leg circuit dominates and the output lags the input. The basic circuit, the lead lag circuit, is used in the positive feedback loop of an op-amp. As shown in below mentioned figure, a voltage divider is used in the feedback loop. In this figure, you can see the main concept of Wien bridge can again be fulfilled by this oscillatory circuit, op-amp based circuit, in which the voltage divider is available here, the lead lag circuit also available here, and voltage divider rule is for inverting input to stabilize the output and maintain the feedback as per the need and requirement of the user at output side. Particularly, the lead lag circuit are also available here to maintain the higher and lower frequency with the resonance concept. Same scenario also be fulfilled by in this figure B, in which the Wien bridge circuit combines the voltage divider and lead lag circuit can also be shown in this figure. Now this is the working principle and the formula that we have to make by this concept. Positive feedback conditions for oscillation would be in this way, can be formed, and it is a simple one, so and self-explanatory. I'm not wasting my time here to explain these basic concepts. So after the scenario, we also can see this thing to get the output. And moving towards the next aspect of uh, this one, that is the phase shift oscillator, in which the phase shift would be performed and we can adjust the phase shift by the this oscillator circuit by as per the requirement of user. The sinusoidal feedback oscillator, also called the phase shift oscillator, each of the three RC circuit that is mentioned in this figure is in the feedback loop can provide a maximum phase shift approaching 90-degree because of the using capacitor. Capacitor can produce 120-degree out of phase shift. Oscillations Oscillation occurs at the frequency where the total phase shift through the 3 RC circuit is 180-degree out of phase. The inversion of the op-amp itself provides the addition 180-degree to meet the requirement for oscillation of 360-degree or 0-degree. Means that phase shift oscillator is basically a type of oscillator which can provide you the output as per the requirement or need of user. So it the output in sense of phase shift can be adjustable and can be get by this configuration of phase shift oscillator. So this is the main aspect of phase shift oscillator, by which we can get the phase shift of the output as per the user. Now moving towards the next configuration of 20 oscillator. This is one of the basic type of oscillator. Another type of RC oscillator circuit is called the 20 base because of the two T type RC filters used in the feedback loop. As shown in below mentioned figure, the 120 filter is a low pass response. Low pass particularly a type of filter or circuit which passes low frequency, and the high pass filter is particular kind of filter which pass the high content of frequency. And by combining these two filters, we can make a band pass filter. The combined parallel filter produces band stop or notch response. Band stop filter is used and applicable there when we want to stop a particular band of frequency, and the notch filter or is a particular kind of filter if we want to eliminate a particular and specified magnitude of frequency, then we need to select notch filter. To stop a particular band of frequency, we use band stop filter, and if we want to stop and block a particular content of frequency, we need notch filter. So particularly, this is the main 20 type of filters in which it plays low pass filter in this configuration, and as well it plays a high pass filter in this configuration. So that's the reason it's called 20 filter, because a low pass filter and high pass filter is available in this configuration, that is called the oscillatory circuit of 20 oscillator. So particularly if these edges are too much wide, that it become a band stop filter, and if particularly this shape would be formed, which means this particular frequency would be block or stop. So this is the concept of notch filter, to eliminate or stop a particular frequency of signal. And if we want to stop or block a particular band of frequency, then we have to select a band stop filter. Hopefully these concepts are clear in your minds. Up till now, anyone of you have any kind of question or query, please feel free to ask. I will answer your question and resolve your queries. Otherwise, I continue the next topic, that is 16-4 oscillators with LC feedback circuits. Although the RC feedback oscillators, particularly the Wien bridge, are generally suitable for frequencies up to 1 MHz. LC filter, before this topic we have covered RC filters, and now we are discussing the LC filters. These circuits are also called the tank circuits. LC feedback elements are normally used in oscillators that require higher frequencies of oscillation. So because of inductor and capacitor, they can be covered high frequency oscillations and support too much higher content of frequency. That's the reason the range of these oscillator achieve or reach at the magnitude of 1 megahertz. Also because of the frequency elimination, also because of the frequency limitation, lower unity gain frequency of most op-amp, discrete transistors BJT or FET are often used, and instead of these transistors we also use op-amps, the operational amplifier, either the inverting and non-inverting modes of amplifier, are often used as gain element in LC oscillators. This section introduces several types of response. A resonant LC feedback oscillator. The further are the names of LC oscillator in the following terms by their names: Colpert oscillator, Clamp oscillator, Hartley oscillator, Armstrong oscillator, and crystal control oscillator. These are the major types of LC oscillator which are commonly used in different kind of processes, control systems, and further microcontroller, microprocessor. These are the particular types and nature of feedback oscillator which are made by LC feedback circuits. Now moving towards the next aspect of oscillator, the oscillator are called the Colpert's oscillator. One basic type of resonant circuit feedback oscillator is the Colpert, named after its inventor. Colpert is a person name, dedication by his work. So as the one of the others we cover here, as shown in figure 16-16, in this type of oscillator uses an LC circuit in the feedback loop to provide the necessary phase shift and to act as a resonant filter that passes only the desired frequency of oscillation. This is the main configuration of Colpit oscillator in which we use a BJT transistor. Before this configuration in RC circuits, we are not using any single transistor, but in this kind of oscillator that we called Colpit, the BJT transistor used here. So most of the equipment including resistor and capacitor inductor are used to fulfill the requirement. So this Colbert oscillator divided into two sections. The this configuration of amplifier we called a BJT amplifier, a power amplifier, and a feedback control loop circuit also available to fulfill the requirement of charging discharging phenomena to produce the oscillatory signal in the form of sine wave, square wave, and particularly sawtooth wave. So the feedback circuit is configured in this way to fulfill the requirement. Now we are here to discuss its working and the formula. The approximate frequency of oscillation is the resonant frequency of the LC circuit and is established by values of C1, C2 which connected in the feedback circuit and L according to this familiar formula as inductor. Now, the dry formula of resonance frequency of Colbert oscillator is resonance frequency approximately equal to 1 upon 2 pi square root of L into Ct. Ct is the total capacitance that we have to find the series parallel combination, or we can say the parallel combination of C1 and C2 capacitors, that C1 multiplied by C2 divided by C1 plus C2, the total capacitance of capacitors used here with multiplying effect with inductor, square root of these two entities multiply to pi and divide by the value of 1. With the answer we got the value of resonance frequency of Colbert oscillator. So hopefully this concept is clear guys, and further we continue the conditions of oscillator and startup. The attenuation factor that we call B of the resonant feedback circuit in the Colbert's oscillator is basically determined by the value of C1 and C2 that mentioned in figure 16-17 shows that the circulating tank current means the current which is flow from inductor and capacitor, the particular type of current we call tank current because of flow in tank circuit. So through both C1 and C2, they are effectively in series. As you can see in this configuration, the voltage developed across C2 is the oscillator's output voltage that we call V out, and the voltage developed across C1 is a feedback voltage Vf as indicated in the expression attenuation factor B. As per the phenomena of attenuation, the feedback voltage over output voltage is in dry form of C2 divided by C1. It is the approximate formula and calculatable thing in the form of attenuation factor, the difference of division ratio C2 over C1 called attenuation. As you know, a condition for oscillation is voltage gain into B equal to 1, since B equal to C2 divided by C1. So by this way we can find the reciprocal is before uh, this session or chapter we already discussed the concept of attenuation and voltage gain in previous lecture as well, in which we discussed the attenuation is reciprocal of voltage gain or gain, and the gain is reciprocal with attenuation. Same phenomena is fulfilled by this statement and again by this formula that the C2 divided by C1 is attenuation, and the reciprocal thing C1 divided by C2 is the voltage gain. Now This is another aspect of Colpert oscillator in this feedback circuit, that the L and C1 C2 feedback configuration circuit is connected with the op amp configuration, and output would be performed in this way as per the input. So this is all about the Colpert oscillator configuration and detailed circuit diagrams that made by the BJT transistor. Now moving towards the next oscillator that we called the clamp oscillator. The clamp oscillator is a variation of Colpert's. The basic difference is an additional capacitor C3. So we use an additional capacitor, that is C3, in series with inductor. And before the clap oscillator that we called uh, Colbert oscillator, there is no concept of third capacitor, but clamp use a third capacitor C3 series with inductor, then to become a clamp oscillator. In series with the inductor, in the resonant feedback circuit as shown in figure that is below, since C3 in series with C1 and C2 around the tank circuit, the total capacitance would be CT equal to 1 upon that particular one divided by C1 plus 1 upon C2 plus 1 upon C3. So the overall configuration simplification, we got the value of total capacitor in CT, putting the value of in this configuration in this magnitude, and we got the value of resonance frequency of clamp oscillator circuit. So this is another view by which we can take in, and what's the impact to use the C3 capacitor in this circuit. What will be happen if C3 is much smaller than C1 and C2, then C3 almost entirely controls the resonant frequency. Means that to introduce a series capacitor configuration with inductance in Colpert oscillator, we can control the resonance frequency. This is the main aspect and feature of clamp oscillator that is not in Colpert oscillator. Fr approximate equal to 1 upon 2 pi square root of L into C3. That's the reason instead of CT, we only use C3 as a resonant frequency formula to get the concept of resonance frequency, and controlled by the resonance frequency by only a single capacitor, that is C3. But C2 and C1 also be sustained there to maintain all the other things. Since C1 and C2 are both connected to ground at one end, the junction capacitance of the transistor and other stray capacitances are the concept that work act as a noise, and we are not want to insert the concept in our amplifier and oscillator, that we call the stray capacitances. In Miller effect, we already discussed the concept in detail. The stray capacitances, that what is that, appear in parallel with C1 and C2 to ground, alternating their effective values. C3 is not affected, however, and thus provides a more accurate and stable frequency oscillation. So this is the main concept of clamp oscillator. And before clamp, we discussed the Colpert oscillator, and in which there is a little bit of change in clamp oscillator. Only a single capacitor, that C3 connected with in series with L, then the resonance frequency would be controlled by the capacitor C3 by this aspect. So in clamp and Colpert oscillator, there is a single difference of capacitor that connected in series with inductor L. So this is the main concept of clamp oscillator. So there is a modification of C3, and due to this modification, the resonance frequency controlled only by this capacitance. So this changes can also be happened in the resonance frequency formula of clamp oscillator. That is a modified form of Colbert oscillator. Now, this will be the third and last concept of oscillator that we call Hartley oscillator, that is made by the configuration of L and C. So there is a little bit of change in feedback circuit to make a Hartley oscillator after the modification of Colpit and clamp oscillator. The little bit of modification have been done as the capacitor is connected further in this configuration with inductances. And what will be happened in this configuration of Hartley oscillator we called, the Hartley oscillator is similar to Colpert except that the feedback circuit consists of two series inductors and a parallel capacitor. So there is a little bit of change in Colpert and clamp oscillator that we only change in feedback circuit. So there is a little bit of modification and we got the total inductance that is connected in this way. In series configuration, L1 is add with L2 and we got the total inductance. In this circuit, the frequency of oscillation for Q is greater than by 10 and the total inductance is connected in this configuration. The inductors act in a role similar to C1 and C2, which they perform in previous oscillatory circuits in previous two circuits. The culprits to determine the attenuation of the feedback circuit by the phenomena of V equal to L1 divided by L2. So to assume startup of oscillation, voltage gain must be greater than to 1 upon B. Means that the reciprocal of attenuation, we got the voltage gain, and the approximate equal formula of voltage gain would be get L2 divided by L1. By this two ratio, we get the value of voltage gain by this aspect. Loading of the tank circuit. Tank means the L and C configuration in series or in parallel, we called it a tank circuit, has the same effect in Hartley as in Colbert's. That is the Q, that is the quality factor of the amplification is decreased, and thus the resonance frequency also decreased. In the next session, we will discuss the Armstrong oscillator configuration, which is made by LNC, and hopefully the concept is too much tricky and complex, which we can discuss it by tomorrow's lecture. Up till now, anyone of you have if any kind of question or query, please feel free to discuss. I'm available to answer the particular query or question if you have in your mind. So ask, and please share today's attendance in our official WhatsApp group. And further, we then continue our next class of power generation in next session. Hopefully, you also join that particular session. Up till now, love this. And share today's attendance in our official WhatsApp group. I'm winding this session off. Share today's attendance in our today's WhatsApp group.